Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. It's Candid Talk Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. This don't sound like it's on. Hey, cousin Alexis. We are here in the studio where tonight is the best night of your life because you get to see me, my cousin, my guest. Hey, Tony. And I got two special guests up in the studio with me tonight, and they are political candidates. One is Miss or Mrs. Miss Sheree D. Henry, and she is running for Cook County Judge?
That's correct. Cook County Judge in the second sub-circuit.
In a second sub-circuit. And then we have Mr. Timothy Tim Parker. And he is running for the Cook County Commissioner in the 5th District, where I will be having his somebody that's running against you. I believe she's next week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. She going there and tough, ain't you?
She's running against me, but I'm not running against her.
Okay, well, she probably don't know she's running against you. I'm just looking at the 5th District, and I know that's what she's running for. I can't even, sorry, I can't think of her name right now. Forgive me, apologies. So we're in the studio tonight. I just told you who my guest is. You know, I got my old faithful cousin down there who can't get her phone to work right.
I know, right? Because you took my stuff.
She always trying to say I took her stuff, but everybody knows who does what.
Okay.
Malachi, the insults will stop. Hey, Sister Angela Marie, I don't go to Great America anyway, so that doesn't matter to me. He always said I can't get on the rides, but I can. I truly can get on the rides.
Okay, we back. We got some issues.
Are we back? We ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Your phone is not acting right either on the.
There you go, right there.
Okay, so we are going to let next Judge Henry. We just gonna claim it for her and let Judge Henry speak and tell a little bit about herself.
Well, my name is Sheree Henry. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
So stupid.
I went to Hyde Park Career Academy.
Oh, y'all know how I feel when they come in with the other high schools.
Indians all the way.
We're gonna go ahead and let her talk, but y'all know the Mustangs, Morgan Park Mustangs run it, even with all their sexual assault charges right now. But go ahead.
I graduated from Hyde Park. I went to Bradley University.
Okay.
Because my family could not afford to send me to college, I joined the Illinois Army National Guard.
Okay.
So while I was in undergrad and law school, I was in the military serving the country.
Wow.
When I graduated from law school, I worked for a civil rights firm for a little bit, but I'm a family person. I love helping families stay together. I love helping people. So I became a Cook County public guardian.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So
I need to talk to you. That is very interesting.
I represented kids that had been abused and neglected. So my responsibility was helping them determine return home, adoption, or living with a relative.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They want to see you, Judge. I'm sorry. Benny, don't you start flirting.
Hi, Benny. I did that for a number of years. And after that, I became a Cook County public defender.
Wow.
I was at 26th Street for a number of years. Currently, I'm at Markham, which is the 6th District. Mm-hmm. I handle felony cases, but my passion is my specialty court cases.
Malachi said, can you get him out of some tickets? You know she can't. Can she finish talking first before you start asking her? Oh, Benny said he's going to go out and vote for you right now.
Thank you, Benny.
Malachi, she cannot get you out of tickets. Stop. Continue, please.
The specialty courts are geared toward helping people not come back into the system. Okay. So for people with drug addiction, mental illness, and veterans, the goal of the program is to give them sobriety, health maintenance, and life coping skills. And it's a 2-year probation. And if they complete it successfully, we vacate the plea and they do not have a felony conviction.
Okay.
So it's geared toward helping people get back on track. I'm also a member of the Democratic Women of South Suburbs. Okay. I am, as a veteran, I'm on the Homewood Veterans Committee helping other veterans if they need help with money, if they need help with just any of the services out there that are available to our veterans, because a lot of our veterans came back and they didn't realize all the benefits that they were eligible for.
Okay.
I do a lot in the community. I'm also working with St. Sabina's Arc for a mentoring program for girls.
Okay.
So after doing this for about 20-something years, I decided to take my skills to the bench.
Okay.
As a judge, I believe that everyone who steps in a courtroom should walk in there with confidence and know two things. That judge is going to listen to whatever I have to say and that they're going to be fair.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry. The guys are big flirts. Say
hi. How are you? I can't see you, but nice to meet you.
Maybe it's always.
She's going to be the next second sub-circuit judge, you guys. So behave yourself. She may be able to help you if you come across her bench. Some of you all, I'm just going to give her a list of who to just go ahead and just send them to jail. So, because a lot of y'all need to go. Hey, Daryl. Hey, Mark. Hey, LaSonia. Hey, Joe. Hey, Travis.
I tell people all the time.
Malachi said to tell you that he's taking his vote back, though. So.
Oh, don't take your vote back. Judges also award money in civil cases, too. So it's not always about crime. It's about sometimes getting money when you deserve it or it's your right.
Okay. So I'm looking at, you said the drug court programs, the mental health court programs, and the veterans court programs.
Yes.
No, Daryl, not you. We know I was with the governor myself yesterday and for his state address and personally invited. Y'all know I'm special. Hey, Victor. And he was talking about, he had some members, some veterans there from Quincy.
Okay.
And they have that big thing down there with someone start with an L in the water, Legionnaires or something.
Okay.
Legionnaires in the water or whatever. So, and I guess the governor went there and stayed there a couple of days and a couple of nights, him and his wife. And so the veterans seemed to be very, very impressed with them. The only problem that they had is they said they would like to see the newer veterans be able to possibly come to where they're at.
Okay.
To be able to help them and guide them through instead of them just out, because a lot of these guys get out.
And they have nowhere to go.
They have nowhere to go. So they're saying, don't just make it for us because we're older, because these younger veterans need help also.
They're
help
lost
them.
Also.
Right. They're like, we done already been through the trenches. We need to help them. They're coming home with the mental illnesses. They're coming home with the scariness of war. We need to,
reach out to them and show them.
And they were like, we need to be able to guide them how to get to this process and get them to be able to re-enter society.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that was definitely interesting. But the mental health court programs, I thought we lost the funding to that.
Well, this is through Cook County.
Mm-hmm.
So what that is when they pick up a case and we realize that the case is connected to their mental illness, the goal is not to put them in jail, but to help them with insurance and get to maybe a psychologist or psychiatrist so that we can get them stable on medication. Okay. So it's through Cook County. It's actually not through the state.
Okay.
And if they have insurance, a lot of times people have the Affordable Care Act insurance. Yeah. We can get them back on track with going to see doctors. And it's also engaging the family, because a lot of times the family do not know what help or where to go and seek help. Right. So we're there to guide them and say, well, this program is available for you and your loved one. This program is available. Okay. And once they go to the treatment and they get back on track, then what we have them do is we say, okay, it's time for you to share what you've learned. Okay. So we also have them do community service, about 30 hours, sharing what they've learned to help the next person.
Okay. Now, your husband is a Cook County public defender.
He is also. Yes.
See, Malachi, somebody get you out of jail after all. He just said he's going to go ahead and vote for you since you do civil cases. Just
thank you.
Don't thank him. Don't thank him. So it's a working family that's working together.
Yes, okay. It is. It's very much a working family. My daughter also does a lot of volunteer work.
Okay. All right. So we're going to come back to you, but we're going to give Mr. Tim Parker some time to talk. I've heard great things. He's making some noise in the little political world of Chicago.
A shaker and mover.
Yeah, I've heard about you before. Kiana even told me about you. So
good thing.
Let's let you get some spiel in there. Good evening, Tasha. So you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Tim Parker, and I'm running for Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District. The 5th District encompasses, just to kind of keep it basic.
I'm sorry, you keep talking.
It's from 99th all the way south to Park Forest, and from the Bishop Ford west to I-57. That's the basic boundaries of the 5th District. So if you live within that area, you are in the 5th District. I'm a 19-year veteran of the Cook County Sheriff's Department. So I've been an officer with the Cook County Sheriff's Department for 19 years. former narcotics officer with Harvey Police Department.
I love it.
I didn't want to say that, but I put it out there. I'm one of the good guys. I'm one of the good guys.
That's what all of Harvey say.
That's what all Harvey say. I'm one of the good guys. Eric Brooker, if you was listening.
I'm one of the good guys.
Did you work for Mayor Eric Kellogg?
Yes, I did work.
Again, they all
let me
say
say
the same thing.
I worked under his administration and I resigned under his administration. So I left voluntarily.
Okay, he gonna clean that up, y'all. Actually, I'm sorry, Judge. I got a classmate that is running against you.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Tiana Ellis Blakely.
She's not running against me.
I thought she's second sub.
Okay. There are 6 vacancies in the second sub-circuit.
Okay.
The second sub-circuit boundaries are 83rd Street in the city to 183rd Street. The east is State Street to the Bishop Ford, and the west is Beverly to Vincennes to I-57. So there are 6 vacancies. I believe Miss Blakely is.
She said no. Okay, girl, give me the correct information. Don't have me out here like this. Malachi said he's definitely not voting for you, Tim.
Tell Malachi I can fix that before we're done.
And sure, Tiana says she loves you, Sheree.
I love you too, T.
I'll just take it over my show today, but go ahead, continue.
Well, in the second sub-circuit with 6 vacancies, I tell people that this is our opportunity to shape our bench the way we want it to look.
Okay. I like that. That's a good thought. Tim, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
That's okay. I'm also a veteran of the United States Army, so I did serve my country. I served my country proudly. Okay. I grew up in foster care in Harvey. Okay. So in terms of my background in law enforcement, I actually think that growing up in foster care kind of helped me to understand a lot of things that the guys in the streets were facing. So I was just one of those guys. If I caught you and you were dirty, I had a job to do. But I'm not going to make you dirty. And I've operated the same way within the Sheriff's Department for the last 19 years. I also do youth mentoring at it's currently Michelle Obama School of the Performing Arts. That's in Park Forest. Right. It used to be Forest Trail Middle School. That took over Forest Trail? I didn't realize that took Forest Trail over. Okay. I was a police liaison there, and I ran a mentoring program for at-risk youth while I was there also. Okay. I think that one of the reasons I decided to run for Cook County Commissioner was because our district, the 5th District, is so ignored by the current county commissioner. I gotta say her name.
Give me initials.
The current county commissioner is Deborah Sims.
Deborah Sims. Okay, that's what I thought
she's
it was.
The current county commissioner. We've lost a lot of different things in within the 5th District. Right now, the 5th District has 6 major hospitals within that one district. Of those 6 major hospitals, Oak Forest is pretty much closed. They're just operating just certain outpatient treatments you can receive at Oak Forest. But at one point we had 3 level 1 trauma centers, and those were at Olympia Fields Hospital, South Suburban Advocate, and Ingalls were all level 1 trauma centers at one point. We have none within the past 24 years. Also within the 5th District, it has become an economic desert. Small businesses cannot survive anymore.
You in my head, and like literally, I just had this same conversation with the governor. My thing is, I'm an advocate for the taxes. You know, they're killing us on the south side and the south suburbs. You know, they're multiplying us 10 times more than the north and the western suburbs. And I just had the same thing because as we were talking yesterday, I'm telling him like, the south suburbs in certain areas is becoming a ghost town. Correct. Look at Madison. We just lost our Walmart we lost our Walmart back. I think it was last summer. We just lost our Sam's Club this January 26th, and we're losing our Target. February. What's today?
February 1st.
Tomorrow. Target is closing tomorrow. 4 Carsons are closing, but that is not one of the locations. So
now I support big businesses, but I tell everyone, every big business was once a small business. And we have to support our small business owners, especially within the economically distressed communities like Harvey, Markham, Dixmoor. These, I would say, out of every county board district, not including the West Side districts, but the 5th district would have to hold the majority of your most economically distressed communities. So, we don't even have Little League baseball anymore. So
after that
Harvey Coates is still operating, but no baseball, no basketball. After this year, the Harvey Coates, the widgets and the junior widgets and the midgets won't exist because there's a new law coming into effect that says you have to be 12 years old to play contact football.
Yeah. Right.
So we're constantly taking away from those areas and we're not giving anything back. I'm also a union rep for Teamsters Local 700, which represents the county employees, the officers at the Sheriff's Department. That's at 26 in California. And they're also one of the largest public sector unions in the state. I'm with you. I was an opponent of the sugar tax. Even though I understand that taxes pay my salaries, we've just got to find a better way to do it.
Well, Tiana, I guess she wants me to pose this question to you guys. She said, how do we fund hospitals, police departments, state's attorney, Cook County Sheriff without the sugar tax? Whatever your ideas.
Well, we've sat down, my team and I have sat down and we figured out a way to generate an additional $51 million per year for the county budget without losing any resources, without adding additional burdens on taxpayers. And that is simply this. Any detainee who's housed
public defense officer. I hate PD, police
but
department.
the funding would go into the general operating budget for Cook County. So if you charge every detainee that's housed at Cook County Jail a copay for their medical treatment. Now I saw how you look.
Yeah, I'm looking crazy because they can't even bail themselves out of jail. How you expect them to pay a copay?
Let me say this. Other counties are currently doing it and have been doing it for years.
Audrey.
We have detainees that have hundreds of dollars on the books. Their families come up, they put money on their books all the time, every day, all day.
Hey, that's for protection. You trying to get them killed in jail?
No.
That's for protection.
That's for other than their basic needs.
Okay.
So if they want cookies and snacks and things like that, that's what the money is used for. So commissary in every penal institution is big business.
Yeah.
And what's happened is and I have to be very careful about what I say regarding the sheriff's office because we have a policy that prohibits me from saying anything that would cause embarrassment or bring discredit to the department. But I will say this, jail has become comfortable for our Black men and Black women. Jail was never meant to be comfortable. And there are certain things that are being done to make it more and more comfortable. And we have to kind of teach them this is not what you're supposed to be doing here. Let's rehabilitate them. But with rehabilitation comes the reality of responsibility. And I'm not talking about a huge copay. I'm talking about $5. And for the detainees who are non-indigent that we pay to work, $2 a day or whatever, that's not a lot of money. But if you're taking $2 a day and you're spending $20 a week or $14 a week on junk food just to have, I think that that's irresponsible. Let's charge you a $2 copay. So I'm not saying we should do anything that's harsh or we should put an unnecessary burden on these families, but you have to contribute something.
Okay, Judge.
I don't know if people are aware, but a lot of times when our clients are in court and they have a bond, there is a new case that allows the court to take that money. So I believe that there is some money there. When you talk about cutting services, I think you have to have a fine line between cutting services and not cutting too much. So I know the sugar tax is gone. But I believe if we also look at the people at the top, we could possibly save some money.
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So if we look at the people at the top, I think there's a little bit more money for us. And I think everybody has to have some skin in this game, the employees and the people we service.
I mean, it has to be some type of accountability. Again, going back to Tim, he was saying about the prisoners are becoming comfortable. What do you do in that aspect? If you're getting three meals a day, healthcare, you can work out at any time. You can. It's right. Just there. Right. It's no.
But a number of those people were comfortable because they had no place to go. And they had a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's once again, that's a catch-22, because if they have a mental illness and we're asking to charge them money, where they're getting that money from?
Yeah. So let me answer that.
Okay.
A lot of there are several different ways that can be handled. Again, I'm not saying that we should put an unfair or unreasonable burden on the pretrial detainees, but because they are pretrial detainees, they have not been convicted of anything yet, their rights still exist. So all I'm saying is, if someone comes to jail and they're on public aid when they come to jail, then we should be building the state for their health care. If someone comes to jail and they've got $2,000 on their books, then if they go to see the doctor, the dentist, the eye doctor, they should be paying $5. They should be paying $2. I'm not talking about people who are totally indigent and have no money and no family. That's not the population I'm talking about.
Okay. That's understandable. Because you do have some people that's in jail, but that can probably, and our families can afford. But most of the time when these people go to jail, their families are not there for them. It's normally, like baby mamas and all that with their checks, they putting money on their men books and stuff like that. But in the same token, is if they do have that type of money on their books, I agree. Yeah, they should pay something.
Right.
If they have that money on their books, yeah. If you got somebody and you know that they're consistently coming in, putting that $100 on their books or whatever, yeah, they should automatically take out, whatever. I don't know the services that they get in jail, but I'm assuming they get everything, right?
They get everything.
Haircuts, medical attention, and
commissary.
Commissary again. That's money that they're spending. I have not done the research yet to see how much. I believe it's Keefe or Airmark is the contract for.
I think it's Airmark.
But
yeah, because I know Airmark was down in Cook County, so it was Airmark.
It is millions. Yeah. They are making millions.
But the prison system is $1 billion
enterprise.
It's $1 billion enterprise. So of course they got their people up in place to make money also.
And the other thing, I do believe that we are top heavy, but I'm just not an advocate of anyone losing their job. And in the sheriff's department, just before the holidays, just before Thanksgiving, they fired every commander within the department, and that's terrible. There were other ways that we could do that, and if the sugar tax was earmarked for treatment of childhood diabetes and obesity, and we didn't get that money, that just means we can't continue with that project. If you have money that you budget for a specific project and that money doesn't come in, you don't get that project. It has nothing. It was supposed to have had nothing to do with jobs.
Right. So what did they make? Didn't they make like $2 million off of that short amount of time?
That short amount of time. That was a lot of money.
They made about $2 million.
No, it was less than $2 million.
I thought she said it was $2 million.
I believe it was less than $2 million. As a matter of fact, I read a story today. Someone that posted on Facebook was an article out of a media outlet saying that the shortfall of money that they made from the revenue that came in was from the sugar tax was under $1 million total.
Oh, okay. Well, Audrey said they are living a life of luxury in jail. They should have to contribute. And I think we all agree with that one, Audrey. Everybody said that they should have to pay something. They should.
How much does it normally cost to house one inmate? Because the last time
I checked, $40,000 a year.
$40,000 a year,
and that's more than what most people are making these days.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other biggest consumption or misinformed is people say, well, if the jail population is down, why does that not reflect in the budget? Well, it's really not down.
It's not down, right?
If we have 6,000 detainees housed at Cook County Jail right now, which is down, let's say 50%, there may be 4,000 or 3,000 detainees that we're housing in other counties.
That's
so there's a cost associated with that as well.
Right. And you got to look at Cook County, and then you got that juvenile facility that they're housing over there too. So I mean, you got to look at all these different entities. And
absolutely,
because when they're housed at other counties, they also have to be brought back and forth to court. So that's transportation that has to be paid for by the county.
Right, because I know Markham comes to Cook County. I think
Markham is part of Cook County, but a lot of times we put them in Kane County. We put them in other counties while their case is pending.
Right.
So they have to come.
I thought they could only go where their case was at. Or
no.
Okay. Angie.
Well, yes, you're right in terms of resolving their case, but housing them, we are actually.
So if there's no room, they can go to another county.
We have room, but for whatever reason, they've decided we're going to house these detainees in Jefferson County, these detainees in Kankakee County, these detainees in Kane County. And who's paying for that?
Wow. Maybe it's job security.
Not for the residents of Cook County right now. That's the job security I'm concerned about.
Okay.
It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So why should you both have very, very impressive resumes? You didn't have your picture on here. I was a little disappointed on yours. I like pictures. So
yes,
sorry, when I come back, I'll have my picture on there.
Okay. So both of you guys have very, very, very good, impressive resumes. Why should the people of Cook County vote for you when they go to the polls?
You want to go first here?
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Come on, Sheree, what we got here?
I have dedicated my whole legal career to serving the community. I live in the second sub-circuit. I'm running in the second sub-circuit, but I've dedicated my whole career to helping people in Cook County. As a judge, I will be able to be the calm in the storm. Okay. When I look at the judicial system, I feel that people look at that as the calming of the storm. When there's confusion, when there's chaos, they want to take it to a judge, and they want that judge to calm them down. I want to be that. I want to show that our system is a fair system. Our system is a system where when you step into that courtroom, you know two things. You know that judge is going to listen to what you say, and whatever decision that judge makes is going to be fair. It's going to be very fair, and you will leave that courtroom knowing that your side was heard and that everybody heard you. I have worked in different areas. I am not only legally qualified, but I'm community qualified. I have been found recommended or qualified by all the bar associations. So I think that I am a candidate that can represent the second sub-circuit to the best of my ability. And I'm asking for your vote on March 20th, 2018 or earlier.
She has my votes. Who's with me?
So did you get that? So everybody know who was just speaking? No, I don't want to bring her on camera. Okay, so
now we have Tim.
Do I got you?
Yes. I'm asking everyone to vote for me, Tim Parker, for Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District. I believe that I'm the best candidate because, first of all, I grew up in the 5th District. I've worked law enforcement in the 5th District, so even though I was working for the Harvey Police Department, I was still living in the community that I was working in. So I'm not one of those guys who wants to service this community and live in a different community.
Okay.
I want to be the voice for the people, which is non-existent on the board. And when I know that's kind of like a cliche, but I want to be that one that stand up and say, we need to fix this property tax problem now. The county board needs to create a formula for determining property taxes and force the county assessor to use those taxes. I'm that one I'm that voice that wants to say, no, we're not going to raise taxes. We're not going to create new taxes. We're going to look at our spending habits. We're going to cut our spending rather than cut jobs. We're going to cut our spending rather than raise taxes. It's time for us to stop allowing the county to dig in our pockets every time that it's time to balance a budget. And I want to be that person to stand up and say enough is enough. I want to be that person to have that open door policy within the 5th District. If you call my cell phone right now, and I always get a number out, you're not going to get a staffer, you're not going to get a volunteer, you're going to get me. So I want to continue to fight. I want to continue to do things for our youth. I want to do whatever I can do to help my community and the 5th District grow. So that's why I'm asking for your support on March 20th to vote for Tim Parker for Cook County Commissioner in the 5th District and to help spread the word. 24 years is enough of the same thing. And I've learned through my psychology class, my sociology class, that if you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always got. So it's time for something different. Thank you.
I think he won my vote.
You know, both of y'all done won the votes.
Yeah, won the vote.
So hold on, everybody.
This is Sheree's card right here.
Trying to put stuff together.
The people's judge, in and out of the courtroom.
But it's like you out of the courtroom a lot, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because even with my specialty courts, I actually go
already all the way from California. How are you?
I go and visit my clients sometimes, even if they're in custody or at their facilities or at their job. One time I put on a hat and I went into the store where one of my clients was working, and I bought some chicken and he didn't even know it was me. And so the next time he was in court, I said, I really love the chicken. But I do that so that I can see what's going on with them. So when they come into the courtroom, if there's something I should be aware of, I know. I'm going to tell you guys a story. About 2 years ago, I was in Walmart and I heard a voice that sounded so familiar, and he was talking to his little girl. It was around Christmas, and she wanted to know why can't she spend her money to buy some toy. And he was saying, well, it's Christmas, it's coming, you don't need to spend your money. When I looked up, that was my client from specialty court. If he had not done that program, he would not have been there talking to his daughter with his family, showing her the importance of saving your money. So that let me know that that program works, because not only was I saving a father, I was saving the whole family.
Wow.
And that's what we're about. That's what we're about, giving back what was given to us. Because if you just save one client, then you're saving a whole family. It could be the next Barack Obama, the next Michelle Obama. It could be the next anybody. Just give them a chance.
It could be the next Tim Parker. It could be the next Sheree Henry. It could be, like she said, anyone. So it's important for us as a Black community. I'm actually holding a voters registration drive February, second weekend in February at the Chicago Baptist Institute. Because a lot of people in that area, believe it or not, are not registered to vote.
I can believe it. I really can.
A lot of people in the South Side. I normally do election coordinator down at the different polling places. I've been up north, I've been west, I've been Inglewood, I've been all the way south. So far South Side was my last polling place. And out of 3,900 and some voters, 324 people came to vote.
Wow.
That was the registered voters in the area.
You guys go and register to vote.
You're absolutely right. And when people ask me, why did you only need 382 signatures to get on the ballot? And you're running for county commissioner. Because I have to explain to them that the signature requirement is based on the last vote, the last election, the voter turnout from the previous election for that race. So the lower the voter turnout, the least amount of signatures you need.
Amount of petition signatures you need.
Yeah. I actually needed 1,000.
You need 1,000.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I discovered is when you talk to people, there are a lot of people not voting and not registered because they feel like their vote doesn't count. And I tell them, I said, it's one step at a time. That's what our ancestors thought, one step at a time. So if you don't feel your vote counts, if you don't vote, you're voting for the opposition when you don't vote. So yeah, it counts. It might not be what you want, but the more times you vote, the more times your vote will count.
It's like it's skipped because it's not our generation.
It's not.
It's the younger people or the very older other people. Because my sons, they won't vote. And I keep saying, why won't you vote? Why won't you vote? Why won't you vote? When Obama was running, I think my youngest was just able to vote. He's like, I'm not going to vote for him because he's a Black man. I don't like any of his platforms. And he's just that type, and he's just, he just in his mind, and my son, my oldest son, is my vote don't count. Your vote does count.
But I think what we have to really what we have to really kind of push is that we have to make our children and other voters and young voters understand that a no vote means a yes vote for the other person. So if you're trying to, if the goal is to get a new person in because you're tired of the same old thing, but you don't vote, you just gave that person that you're tired of a vote.
A vote. And that is one of the most important things that you have to realize. When you don't vote, it goes to the other side. I don't know how many times I can say this. I was up north, Lakeshore Drive, other kind of people, they came out. Those people that was registered to vote was there to vote. Went into the system, what's the Inglewood district? I can't remember, but it was a high number of people that was registered. About 120 some people came out to vote. Again, you have to vote. Use your right. People have died for us to be able to vote, and not showing your kids that this is and that's the killer part for me. Is like when I used to go vote, I used to take my sons with me,
right, so
they can see. So, but once they went away to college, it's a whole nother thing. But it's my fault. I didn't send them to a HBCU. It's my fault. that they tell them down and knows how important it is. But I told you so. Of course, they're going to frame their own mind frames of, do what they want to do. But again, and I say every time you don't vote, you give it to the other person. That's how Donald Trump got into office.
Thank you.
That is how he got into office. All you non-voters, I wanted to put on a coat and go in a different head, put on a wig or something, go in so I could vote again. Because this man is in office. I don't know. I didn't watch this State of the Union. He's not worth me turning on my TV. So, and I was hoping so many people did. But then when I went on Facebook and saw people was watching, I'm like, what's wrong with you people? You're giving them more power. Now they're saying 46.5 million people watch. And that's stroking the little orange man's ego.
Yes, it is.
You can't. I mean, I've gotten negative feedback. Oh, well, you're with Ron, or I'm with whoever gonna try to do the job. Yeah, we know it's elections season. Chris is not stupid, but if my voice can get heard to try to help, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care who in office. I'm gonna try to do it, because at the end of the day, I don't know about y'all, but I pay more in property taxes than I pay in mortgage. And yeah, that's not cool for me. My mortgage is being in my area. I'm in Flossmoor. Don't nobody come stalking me. My mortgage is being multiplied 18.844%.
Wow.
That is what Flossmoor is. And you want to know the crazy part? The poorer the areas, the higher the multiplier is.
Right.
Right.
Harvey is at 26.
Harvey?
Right.
Yes. What's that?
Property tax?
Some of the highest
26. What's that place all the way in the suburbs?
Fort Heights.
38.9.
It ain't nothing in the Fort Heights.
That is what they've been multiplied.
Now, every area that you just named is within the 5th district.
But this is what's going on.
So now I got
they cut me off on the news last week because I broke it down to them.
Oh, you gave information. Of course they gonna cut you off.
Cut me. I got they gave me like 3 seconds on Channel 7. No, I had a whole lot to say, because when I got finished, the people were clapping. The fireman was like, "Thank you." Bottom line, do your research.
But you know what's sad about that is that our current Black leaders, and I'm not just gonna put it on one, our current leaders, especially our current Black leaders, will step out and support the person who could have fixed this years ago, and they're supporting him. So I tell everybody, look, it's time for us to start voting our own interests. Don't vote this way because the committeeman says vote this way, or because the party is voting this way. If it's not in your best interest to vote for that person, then don't vote for them. Some of the highest, and they try to keep it secret, but I realized that today, talking to a friend, we have some of the most unconventional ways of voter suppression right here in the South suburbs.
Okay.
And it's being done by the ones that want to stay in power. If you look at the early voting locations, where it used to be so many in a different area, they've reduced the number of early voting locations. They've got early voting locations at areas where there are no, especially Black men, we're not going to the courthouses to vote. Most people aren't, because you've got to go through a security checkpoint to vote. So You can early vote at all. Right. You can early vote at all 5-6 court districts.
Yeah.
Some locations are hidden. You don't. The park.
I go to Matson. I go to Matson Village Hall because they have early voting, so I go there.
Now you live in Flossmoor. Can you tell me where the Park Forest Village Hall is? Because there's some people in.
I mean, I've been there before. It's been years.
It was
like when I was living in University Park. That was years ago. So,
but for those that don't know, they'll get frustrated trying to find how to get in.
Right. Especially going through those little back roads.
Yeah, little back roads.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. They got it way back there.
These committeemen choose areas because the lower the voter turnout, the better for the incumbent. And that's how the system is set up. We've got to not get frustrated with that. We've got to go and vote.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, I want to give Rob Bev a shout out at the Dayton game. First ladies will be in the house tonight. I can't make it. I'm on crutches. It's not a good thing. I can't be in crowds like that, you know.
No heels.
So no, I can't wear my heels. I can't let my I can let my hair down, but it's in a hat. I don't know how I do. But go out and support Rob Bevs of the Dayton game. Go out there and check it out. Hey, Steve. Hey, Audrey. Hey, London. Amen. Tasha says, hey, Robert Muhammad, congratulations on your engagement. Hey, Anton Hicks. But it was so nice for you guys to come out. My people know how I like to talk to them. They like to have a lot to say. They're not the political people, though.
Your crowd have nothing to say.
But they listen, though. They listen. So I'm proud of you guys. You all behaved yourself except for Malachi in the beginning. So Malachi said that he will rethink about voting for you again. As long as you know, it's all about some tickets he got. They're probably red light or something, knowing him. But
I get those too.
So Artie says hello. He's all the way from California. So we got quite a few people on here tonight. But I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to both of you guys' election is on March 20th.
That's correct.
So that's well, yeah, that's right, because that is a big election, March 20th. So get out and vote. I will be putting up a location. If you are not registered to vote, I will be putting up a location. Actually, it's 5120 South King Drive at the Chicago Baptist Institute. You guys can inbox me, and I will give you the date. If you know anyone that needs to register to vote, they can come down and see me, and my team would level up and vote, and we will get them registered. This is Candid Talk Radio on IntellectualRadio.com, and peace.